Okay, people, so again, just saying this is the string stealthy program. I'm gonna be doing a bit of functions in the coding. You will see the first box is our name and surname. So the user is basically just gonna enter his name, then a space, and then his surname, and then we're gonna click this do it button, and it will then proceed to do the processing via the coding we are gonna write to do all of these edit boxes. So you will see the first one is second letter. So that just means it's basically you're gonna go look at the name and surname, get the second letter of the name and surname. The next one is going to be the length of the name and surname. So it's going to return, okay, so your name and surname is this character's long. Okay. Next one, fourth letter, is the same as the second letter. And the next one is position of the space. So it's actually going to tell us in which position. Is it the 7th character? Is it the 8th character? Which character position is the space located at? Then we've got the name only, so it's just going to display us the name, and so forth. Okay, so I'm gonna do just the important ones, and we are gonna start with the second letter one. Okay, so we're gonna be doing all of this in one button. So I'm gonna have all my variables for all the edit boxes are gonna be in this one button over here in do it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go extract the whole name and surname. So we're going to create a variable, let's just say full name, and give it the data type of string. Okay, then obviously we want to put something into that full name variable, so we are just going to go extract the edt name.surname, and then the .text property. So we're going to extract the text out of the name and surname edit box. Okay, so now our full name, a variable contains our full name. We can simply, we don't need to create a variable because we just want to display the second letter. So we can just say, well, our edt second letter .text will then be equal to our full name. We've got block brackets or square brackets, and inside the square brackets is the amount of the character, like the position of the character you want to display. So if I want to display the first character, I would write in a 1. If I want to display the 5th character, I would write in a 5. In this case, I want to display the second letter, so second means 2. So it's just going to be my full name, which contains my name and surname, and then just display the second character. Okay, and that's how you extract a character out of a variable, just block brackets. So now if I run this, you will see if I've got my name and surname, so I can go type in my name, my surname. If I click do it, it's going to display the second letter, which is E. Okay, again second letter D. Alright, so that is how we extract a letter. Okay, the next one is getting the length of the name and surname. Okay, so we are going to create a variable for this one. Let's just call it name sir length. Okay, so my name, and if I call the length function, it's gonna basically return an integer to me because it's gonna say 15 or 14, and that just indicates to us it is like 13 or 14 characters long. So that's why our name and surname length gets a integer data type. So then if you want to go actually populate that variable, we would call our name surname length. We would say, well, that is equal to, and now we have to find the length. So how are we going to know how long our full name is? So we are going to call the length function. You will see if you hold down control and click space, it will give you all the options. So if I delete a few characters, you will see control holding it down, clicking spacebar gives me all these options, so I can just complete the spelling of length. And you will see there's a function length. It requires a string and it will return an integer. Okay, so if we have our length inside the brackets, is then what string do we want to give to extract the length? So it will be just full name, just like this. Okay, and that will then return a 10, 5 or something like that. Okay, so just gonna continue. Okay, so yes, length counts everything. It counts letters, spaces, funny characters. It counts everything. Okay, so the true length of the name and surname will actually be length minus 1, but we're gonna just leave that for now, and there's a specific reason for that. So that would be the length of name and surname. Okay, so fourth letter we know how to do. Then the next function will be position, and how to get a position of a specific character out of a string. Okay, in this case it's asking for the position of the space. So I'm gonna go and add another variable to my integers called pos space, and then I just want to give it a value. So my pos space would be equal to, then if you can remember, the function we are calling is pos, P-O-S, and if you click control space you will see there's a function of POS, so you just double click on that one. So inside the brackets it is asking for two things. First of all, it's what are we looking for, and where out, like which variable, sorry, can we go get that whatever we are looking for. So in this case we are looking for, okay, and let me just quickly explain this a bit further. So we're going to have something in quotes we're going to be looking for, then we'll have a comma, and out of which string must this function go look. So in this case it will be just full name. So the first one in quotes is we are looking for a space, so we just click one space and then you will see there's a space in between. If we are looking for an A, we would just supplement that space with an A, or a small a, or a B, or a Z, and that's just basically gonna go search for whatever's between the quotes inside of full name. So like I said, in this case it's just spacebar, so we're just gonna have a one space. Okay, so that is how we get the position of the space, and now all we want to do is we want to display it. So I'm gonna have my EDT. Oh, we didn't even finish this one. The name and surname length we didn't even display, so I'm just gonna have my EDT length dot text is equal to name length. Okay, so why will this line of coding not work? I'm gonna give you like 2 seconds to quickly think about it, and then I'll ask you. Okay, great. Didn't convert it, but just remember it's an int to string, because we've got an integer, we want to convert it into a string. Okay, but thank you for that answer. Length. Okay, so so yeah, that is how we get the length one. So now the next one is the position space. I just have to display it, so I'm just gonna say dot text is equal to, again, int to string, and then just put in my pos space over there. Okay, so now let's just run it, make sure there are no errors so far. We can begin by just having a... Okay, so now the second letter again is an E. The length of the name and surname. So how does this counting work? So it's going to start at D, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you will see the spaces counted 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so notice the length is also the amount of characters there are. So if I ask you how long is it, you will say 17, and if I ask you what is going to be the last character, you will also recall it to the 17th character. So instead of having here the second letter in the square brackets, we'll just add the length, and that will give us automatically the last character of the full name and surname. Okay, because this D at the end is also noted as the 17th character. Okay, but yeah, and then position of space, like we said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the space is the 7th position. Excellent. Okay, so now we are moving on. The next function is going to be the copy function. Okay, the next one, copy function, it's asking for the name only. Okay, so let's make another variable again, a string, and let's just call it name O. Okay, make sure you don't just write name, because name is a property inside Delphi, so you do not want to just use name. You want to have a name O or misspell name or anything that will give you an indication of it is just the name only. So then we can have name only is equal to, okay, so in this case we're going to using the copy function. So let me quickly explain the copy function over here. So we've got the copy function. Okay, inside the copy function we've got three parameters separated by 2 commas. Okay, so the first one is out of where do we want to copy, so out of where, so which string. The next one is where must we start, and the next one is not where must we stop, but it is for how many characters. Okay, so copy function we're going to be using over here at the name only. So we're going to be calling our copy function. So here you will see it's looking for the string out of where. So out of where do we want to go copy? Out of full name. Then we say a comma, where do we want to start? So we want the name, so obviously the name is going to be first, so the name will start at the first character. And then we are asking, okay, for how many characters do we then want to copy? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you the question, how will we know where the name stops? Correct, so the name will stop before the space, so then we can just say start at 1 and then copy for, not copy until the pause space. I'm gonna explain why I'm putting it in pause space. I think it's -1, because let's say I've got a name here, over here. Okay, I've got a name here, and I'm giving the instruction. Okay, I know my space is at position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at position 7. Okay, so in this case, start at position 1 over here, and then copy for 7 characters, not until the 7th character, but for 7 characters. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will see the space will be included. So what we just do is we say pause space -1. Okay, because we don't want to include a space. The space is not part of the name. So now all we can do is we can just say, well, our EDT name dot text will get the value of okay, I missed a semicolon there. We'll get the value of whatever is inside our name only. Okay. Okay, so if I've got my name and same name there, you will see the name only is just the name recorded here above, and you will see if I click here, there are no spaces. Okay, I just added that one, but there are no spaces. Alright. So yes, that is the length function, that is the copy function, and the position function. Okay, next up what we are going to do is, okay, so surname only, I want you guys to figure out first letter of surname, figure out name in lowercase. Okay, so lowercase and uppercase is the next two functions. Okay, position of the first A is actually very easy, so I'm going to give you a hint. You're going to be doing it exactly as the position of the space. But yeah, I want you to do that one as well. The next one is let's start with the lowercase. Okay. So lowercase, what we can just do is, I'm going to display it straight up. Where's the name in lowercase? So you see I already extracted the name. So now I just want to display it as an EDT name lower dot text gets the value of, I've got two functions. If I want to display everything in lowercase, our function then will just be lowercase. Very easy. And inside the brackets we just put whatever we want to make everything lowercase as. The next one is uppercase, or to make it capital letters, and that is just used as uppercase. And then inside the brackets again, what do we want to make capital letters? Okay, so in this case our EDT name lower dot text, I'll just say lowercase. Okay, and then what do we want to make lowercase? The name only. Then I can run it and I can test it again to just see. Okay, you will see here my name has a capital letter at the beginning. So if I click do it, you will see now the capital letter is removed from the name. You will see here the name only still has the capital, but the name in lowercase was removed. Okay, so that is lowercase, and then uppercase will work exactly the same way. You just have to go change it to make it a capital letters. Okay, the first letter of name and surname, again, very straightforward, very easy. You can do that very quickly. That is just, if you've got the name, you can just go extract the first letter of the name. If you've got the surname, extract the first letter of the surname, join those two together and just make it capital letters. Okay, so that is also again very easy. I want you guys to please do it, practice it. And the next one I'm going to do is there an E? Okay, so is there an E is a bit dodgy, because here we are not going to be using so much of these. We will rather be using a for loop, because we want to go character by character and go see, is there an E in this whole name and surname. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to have a for loop. So for I 1 to where must it go? I said it must go to the length of the name and surname, because it's gonna, if I've got my name and surname here, I want this for loop to go from the first character up until the last character. Then it's gonna go character by character. It's gonna look at the first character. Is it an E? No, it's not. Next one, is it the next one an E? Yes, it is. And then it will display, yes, there is an E inside of the string, whatever. Okay, so that's why I'm gonna use the name sir length, just like this, name sir length. You will see my I is underlined in red, and at the top here it says undeclared identifier I, so that just means I never declared I as a data type or a variable. So I'm just gonna go here to my integers, add I in here, and then I will have a begin and end. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Okay, so I can do this in two ways, or just in one short way. So what I'm gonna do is, it's basically gonna go loop through my whole sentence now, character for character. So what I want to do is, I want to have an if statement, and I want to say, if the first or the ith character of the sentence is equal to an E. Okay, so how I can do that is, I can just say my full name. If my full name, and then I can use the square brackets and insert I into here, because the for loop will actually loop through all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till the end of the name and surname. So I can just replace whatever number I had here at the top, like a 2, 3, 4, with I, because I will become all the numbers inside of the name and surname. So if my full name I equals to E. Okay, over here you will see it's a small letter E, so I'm going to stick to a small letter E. Then I want to again begin and say, well, edt find E dot text is equal to, let's just say, yes, there is an E. Just like this. Okay. Only problem we have now is if we want to say no, there is not an E. What we can do is we can display it here at the top. We can just say edt find E dot tick. We can say no, there is no E. So before it even finds an E, it's gonna already tell us no, there is no E, and then it's gonna go loop through each character to go see if there is an E, and if there is an E present in that variable, then it will only change that find E dot text to a yes. Okay, I've got someone asking me, but sir, why don't we just say else here and then say begin, end, and then insert this line over here? Okay, will this work the same? Well, the main answer is no, it will not work. Okay, problem being it's inside a for loop and it's using one if statement. So let me explain how this is going to work. The wrong one now. Okay, so it's going to go look at the first character of the name and ask, well, is that first character an E? Then no, it's not. So it's going to go here to the else part and say no, there is no E. Okay, and then it's going to go to the, it's going to go up again to the above. I will then become whatever I was plus 1, which is in this case 2, and it's going to ask, well, is the second character of full name E? If we look here, in this case, yes, it is E. So what it's going to do, it's going to use this statement, and it's going to say in the text box, yes, there is an E. Okay, problem comes in, now that it has find an E, it told us there is an E, the loop does not stop. So it's going to go up here to the top. I will then become whatever I was, which was 2, plus 1, which is now 3, so I is now 3. And now it's going to say, well, is the third character of full name an E? So now we go look at the third character. It's a W, so it's not an E. So what's going to happen? It's going to skip this part, and it will begin edt find E dot text, there is no E. So what happened now? It did find an E, but now at the end it's going to tell us there is no E. So that's why we can't use an if else statement over here. We need to in the beginning say there is no E. Before it even searches anything, we need to tell them there is no E, and then we can just have a for loop and say, okay, well, search through the name and surname, and if you find an E, then just display yes, there is an E. So we don't care if it does not find an E, we know we are covered here at the top. It will always say there is no E until it finds an E, and then it will work. So in this case we can run this, and we'll click do it. It will say yes, there is an E. Okay, look where the E is. It's in the second position. I can put it here near the end. It's still gonna say there is an E. If I delete the E though, it will say no, there is no E. Okay, also note though, what's interesting is if I insert a capital E here and I click do it, it will also tell me there is no E. If I put a capital, let's say E in the beginning, and I click do it, it will still tell me there is no E. If I put in a small letter E, it's gonna say yes, there is an E. Okay, so what happened here is it is gonna specifically look for a small letter E. Okay, ways to fix this, to look for a small letter and a capital letter. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put the first statement into brackets, and then you're gonna add the word and. Then you're gonna open another set of brackets and enter the second statement. So full name I equals, and now a capital E. So what it's gonna say is, sorry, not and, it's or. So it's gonna say, okay, full name I, if it's a small letter E or if it's a capital letter E. So what and does, it actually needs to require both of these statements to be true. So it must be a small letter and a capital, so we know you can't have a letter small and capital at the same time. So that's why and will not work. We need or. So if it is an E or if it's a capital E. Okay, and now if we run this program, and then again, let's remove this E and put in a capital over there. You will see it says yes, there is an E. If I put a small letter in, yes, there is an E. So now we are covered. Okay, and that is basically all that you need to understand for this lesson. It's just a copy, the position, how to get a character out of a variable or a sentence, like using the square brackets. It is using lowercase and uppercase, and just using whatever we learned beforehand, like the for and if statements, to actually implement the strings to get a certain answer or decision made. Okay, is there any questions on the work?